Hey y'all, it's Natalie, Renee, and welcome back to my channel. Today is kind of a special video because I'm hitting I've already hit by the time this video drops, my 1-year work anniversary. I'm a little over 1 year working full-time in the aerospace industry, as well as like 1.5 years post-grad. So I just thought that I would sit down and chit chat with y'all and share a little update on how all of this has been, what I've learned, work-life balance, burnout, friendships at work, and where I see myself in the next year or so. First, I kind of want to get into what it was like stepping into the aerospace industry right out of college. And I guess for me, if you're not new to my channel, or if you are new, I went to grad school at Georgia Tech for my aerospace engineering degree, and I did my undergrad at Iowa State also for aerospace engineering. So it's like I've had internships which got you a small taste of what it's like to work a real job and be in the industry and be in these spaces, but a real full-time job was completely different. It was like shell shock. Honestly, this past year has went by so fast. It was like a blur almost. It's like you go from your classes and hanging out with your friends, and then suddenly you're working 40+ hours and you're like, what is going on? And to add on top of that, that you may or may not, but in my case was living in an entirely different city where you know nobody except maybe 1 or 2 people, and you have to just figure all that out and still go to work. Reflecting on a full year working, there are a couple of things that I've really appreciated this year, and one of those is stability. I didn't realize the sense of stability and routine that college gave me until I was no longer in college, and so to be able to find that again with work, really getting into my career, working on projects that I love, and still actually learning in my role and in my field has just been amazing. And because of what I do, because of the learning aspect, it still makes me feel, I don't know how to describe this. I'm a person who really enjoyed school. I am a person who likes learning new things, which is why I hobby jump every couple of months. But when I'm at work, I feel like every couple of months I'm able to learn something new and really develop my technical skills, my engineering skills, and so that's just really been amazing. And then I really want to talk about workplace environment, because I feel like the aerospace industry can really be a sliding scale for what somebody's workplace environment is. And I'm not gonna lie, mine has been great. I feel as though I'm on a team that is really progressive. What I mean by that is that it is such a diverse team with so much talent. I feel as though the management on my team is really working and making an effort for all of us to continue to learn and grow, as well as, giving people responsibilities, putting me on a certain project, even if I may not be extremely familiar, or just giving people opportunities to show what they can do. Honestly, I wasn't very surprised with it. Well, kind of. I guess I was nervous going into it, but I'm not really surprised because my internship experiences were also really great, and they were very similar to that. I feel like I was given opportunities to learn and be on new projects, and I feel like that definitely has translated into this role, so I'm super duper appreciative of that as well, for it being my very first real job. One thing that I soon realized after starting was that a work-life balance was absolutely necessary, and I'm not gonna lie, it has been quite the adjustment. Sometimes I'm still adjusting. You're in college and you wake up whenever for whatever class. I only had one 8 a.m. my whole 4 years in undergrad, whatever. But then you go from having a class here and there to literally going to work every single day. It's crazy. I don't really work like a 9 to 5. I more like to do a 7 to 3. I guess on my team structure, people can come between a few different hours, but I like to get there at 7 because I feel like when I get out of work, it's still daylight and I have a lot of my day left. And that's where I feel the balance is. I'm getting a full night's rest. I'm going to work. I'm doing my full day. And then I have time to come home and record a video for y'all like I am right now, or just do whatever else that I want to do, so that I don't necessarily feel like I'm stuck in this endless loop of work and eating and sleeping and working and eating and sleeping. I'm not too mad about, working the 9 to 5. I do feel that it gives a lot of good structure to my day. I'm a super planner. As soon as work is over, I'm like getting right into my next couple of things that I want to do for the day. So I guess in comparison to college classes whenever you want, it's not that bad. I'm not gonna lie though, not every week or every day is as easy as I'm making it seem. I mean, like, I like to balance a lot of things. I like to do a lot of things. I'm doing my YouTube stuff. I'm doing pottery stuff. I'm trying to get in the gym. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm making time for my relationship, making time to check in with family members and friends that I haven't spoken to in a long time. And honestly, I just put it all in the calendar and it makes it easier for me. But long story short, it's like some weeks I feel like I have a good rhythm, and then other weeks I feel like I'm just a complete mess. And I've understood and kind of accepted that that is completely okay and that that's life. You know, I'm kind of like, I guess I wouldn't necessarily say I'm type A, but I'm pretty anal about things that I want to do, and if they don't go right, I get kind of stressed out. So I've been learning to be way less stressed and way less strict about things like that, because everything that's meant to happen will happen the way it's supposed to. So if I don't have a good rhythm this week, then I don't have a good rhythm and I have a whole nother week to try again. A really good tip here that I feel like I've learned to kind of stay balanced is literally putting things in a calendar. And it can feel very like schedule like, but it just makes it so much easier for me. I recently started using Google Calendar. I feel like I've been telling everyone, and I've like color coded it and it's super cute, but I put everything in there. If I'm going out of town, it's in my Google Calendar. If I'm hanging out with my friends, it's in my Google Calendar. If I'm sitting down to record a video, this video, it's in my Google Calendar. And I feel like that has made a world of a difference with balancing the things that I want to do outside of work. Another really, really important kind of reflection that I want to get into is having friends out here, and specifically having friends that are also your coworkers. I know somebody wanted me to speak about that and finding friends and how I was able to meet people out here in a new environment, especially when you're working all day, and honestly, using my resources. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have very many friends out here that don't work at the same company as me, but I feel like it has really positively impacted my work experience because, you know, at the end of the day, if I'm gonna go and hang out with my friends, we can chat about work. Or a lot of my friends, whether they be engineers or in some other field of STEM, they can kind of understand the demand of work, and we're kind of relating on that level. And I feel like that has been really awesome to have friends who kind of understand you better. An interesting point here is kind of like the balance of building community and also keeping boundaries. And for me, it really hasn't been that hard because as much as I am a social butterfly, I do love my own personal time. And so like I was saying before, with scheduling things to do, I may agree to go to everything, but I do know that if I'm not feeling it, I don't feel like my best self, I don't feel like I'm going to come and bring the best energy, I am completely fine and have no negative emotions to cancel and reschedule. But it also is just really, really nice when you have this full group chat of people who a lot of them are always willing to hang out and mingle and connect and get to know one another. So having coworkers as your friends, I think, has been a really cool benefit to me in my experience here. And I do want to put a little disclaimer in here. These are people that work at the same company as me, but we do not work on the same team. So I also think that that is really good because we're not really like crossing paths too much. Even just a simple like going to get lunch, most times me and a lot of my coworkers just sit and eat lunch at your desk, and you're sitting at your desk and eating your lunch, and then you're going home and you by yourself. You know, you may not get that human interaction outside of your day-to-day teammates, and I feel like that has been a really, really added benefit, especially this calendar year, because I definitely have been going to lunch somewhere with friends, maybe like a weekly lunch, and it has really, really helped my days go by. Okay, so a super duper duper important and extremely relevant for, I think, any college grad turned full-time employee or just honestly anybody in the STEM field is burnout. Recognizing burnout and knowing how to deal with burnout. Personally, for me, I feel like I realized that burnout was coming in when I was getting just really depressed. And I don't really mean like I was full on depressed, but I just would be really not feeling it. You know what I mean? Like you're getting up and you're like, oh, I have to go to work. And I like my job. So when I start to feel like, oh, I have to go to work, I think that it means that I'm burnt out. Or it just, I need a change of pace. It is definitely 100% an adjustment when you're going from being in college to just working and there's no like real end in sight. Sometimes it can be a little like, whoa. But honestly, how I overcome burnout is one, understanding your PTO schedule and knowing that it's there for a reason, okay? Take that PTO. Listen to me when I tell you this. Come close, come close. Take that PTO. Obviously, make sure that it works with your schedule and make sure that you're getting your work done, as I always do. But I think that it is very, very important to just take some time to yourself, whether that just be 2 hours, half day, a full day. Making sure that you're taking a little bit of extra time for yourself, honestly, is one of the main things that helps with burnout. I also think that something that helps with burnout is like having plans for the weekend, because you have something to look forward to and it's keeping you motivated to get through your week. Even if that something is work related, keep that kind of high in your mind, and I feel like it just keeps you on your toes, it keeps you motivated, it keeps you ready to just get up every morning and go on and do your day. Me personally, when I'm feeling burnt out, I like to really get deep into my hobbies. And then I'd say, if you're able or if you can afford, plan a mini trip somewhere, plan a staycation somewhere, plan something for you to do that is completely unrelated to work that will really help you bounce back from feeling so burnt out. Because the reality of a lot of these situations, I'll say a lot, not all, but a lot, is that you don't really hate your job. Your body is just really telling you to slow down and take a moment, and you should absolutely listen so that way you can start feeling better. So now that I've kind of reflected over the last year, I definitely want to do a quick look ahead, at least maybe for a year out or 2 years out. Me personally, I will definitely still be in this industry and still be at this job. So I'm looking forward to still having a job. But no, in all seriousness, I'm just really looking forward to working on new projects and continuing to grow my aerospace knowledge. I do want to continue to just learn as much as I possibly can. Like I said before, I'm a person who loves learning, especially about engineering, aerospace related things. So as long as I have an opportunity to just grow myself in that department, I am straight. Maybe some more specifics. I mean, I would maybe like to see myself, not necessarily in a leadership role, but taking on more responsibility. I feel like I've already had a taste of that in this role and I feel very satisfied with it. So to kind of see myself grow in that area will be really nice, as well as possibly getting promoted. I don't know. A promotion always is good. And then I guess for me, personally, my like 2-year goal, I'd like to really be strong in my work-life balance, really get down routine, really understanding that you can do what you want to do because this is your life. You know, okay, I'm going to work and I'm blessed to have a job that allows me to make money to pour into other things that I like to do, because I'm not a person that's kind of a one-track mind. You know, I have a lot of interests and a lot of things in my life that I'm invested in, and I just want to continue to learn how to be present in all of those spaces. So yes, this has been my cute, short and sweet little 1-year update on my time as a full-time aerospace engineer post-grad. It definitely has been a good mix of highs and lows, challenges, lots of learning moments, but I am just really grateful for where I am and all that I've experienced this past year. If you are currently working as a full-time employee, I am here for you. I feel for you. And whatever you're thinking that I might not have said in this video, I definitely have thought it and probably experienced it, and it's completely okay. It's all about the balance. Literally, we're working to live, but also it doesn't have to feel so hamster in a mouse ball. Or mouse in a hamster ball. You know what I'm trying to say. Sometimes working can feel like a rat race, but I feel like this past year I've really learned how to make it just feel like my life. If you are also navigating post-grad life or starting your first job, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear all of your experiences too. I also have a life after college playlist on my channel, so check that out if you're interested. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you all, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.